Hello, and welcome to the Broker's View into the System. Today we will take a look at the tools that you can offer your clients, as well as functionality that you will be able to use at the broker level to help present the benefit plans being offered, generate employee census data, monitor open enrollment progress, and of course the ability to review current, previous, and future plan enrollments. I'm going to start off the demo from the employee's perspective so that we can hone in on the benefit enrollment process in addition to other employee self-service features. From there, I will then move into the broker's perspective to highlight the key reports and tools that you will find useful. Josh is a new employee here within our client account, and today is his first day on the job. In addition to the available pre-hire functionality related to recruitment and applicant tracking, and the completion of his I-9 and withholding forms as part of the onboarding process as a new hire, Josh is entitled to review and select his benefits based on the settings within the benefit profile that has been assigned to his account. So within his employee dashboard view, we can see the assigned checklist items that are populating his to-dos and see the onboarding tasks that he must complete. And then below that, this is where we can view our quick links area. So this is where he can easily navigate to different areas within the system of importance. So from here, I'm able to click on the Review and Select Benefits link. From this screen, I can view my pending change requests, which will be populated once I've made my submission. And then I also have the ability to review my benefit selections and options for both current and future plans when applicable. On the bottom bar, we can see we can start the open enrollment and a life change event. The open enrollment period can be controlled based on the settings within the benefit plan profile. In the event an employee is hired and completes their new hire benefit enrollment and the company has their yearly open enrollment, the system allows the new employee to complete the open enrollment as well. If the employee does not fall within the new hire and/or company open enrollment period, the Start Open Enrollment button will not appear on this page. Now, understanding that things can change once enrolled in benefit plans, the Life Change Event button will always be available to request any necessary changes as they may arise. So let's start the open enrollment process. We start off on the Instructions tab, where the provided messaging is configurable based on the plans being offered, in addition to any additional items that you would like to include. This is a great way for you to present and promote various benefit plan offerings to increase the overall plan participation. We can see the tabs across the top are also hyperlinked for easier navigation, in addition to the Continue button here on the bottom bar. There's also a Save button so the employees can save their selections before they actually submit their request if they needed to step away and revisit later. Now each tab will have information around the carrier, the plan options, for example, employee, employee plus spouse, or family coverage. It will also show the deduction amount and the frequency of the deduction. As the employee begins to make their selections, they could take advantage of the tools such as the Compare Selected Options, which is helpful here because I have two carriers with the same plan types at different premiums. So let's take a look. So here we can get a nice side-by-side comparison of the two options, and then we can also view further plan details by clicking on the magnifying glass. From here we can also see that we have plan documentation that's been attached, so we do have the ability to pull up that downloaded document to review that information. So once we're ready, we can go ahead and make our selection, and so in this case I'm going to go ahead and select Employee plus Spouse. And by doing this, we can go ahead and select the appropriate box next to that plan. Next is the dental insurance option. For any of the benefit plan types, you do have the ability to waive the option, so I'm going to go ahead and waive the dental coverage at this time, just as an example. Next, we can move on to the life insurance plan. As I make my coverage selection, you will notice that the system is using units that will be tied to the coverage amount. So we can see here that 50 units is representing $50,000 in coverage. So below the coverage amount, there's a message that indicates 100 units or less are guaranteed, but it's possible to request more if an evidence of insurability form is provided. So let's say that Josh wants $150,000 worth of coverage, or 150 units. Once I enter that in here, we will see that there is evidence of insurability that is required. So you do have the ability to upload this information, and a warning message will appear. So in this case, the evidence of insurability is required, so I will go ahead and upload my evidence of insurability form along with my request. So once I've gone ahead and uploaded that, I can go ahead and select this option, and I can then move on to the Vision tab. So I'm going to go ahead and select the Employee Only option here, and then I can move on and confirm my selections. Before I do that, I want to point out that the area in between the tabs up here on the top and the plans listed below, we can also include messaging for additional plan promotion and/or guidance. Now also, the system will prevent a change request submission if there are missing items such as the requirement to add a dependent or beneficiary, as we can see here is currently the case as the Submit Request button is grayed out. Now I can add my dependent and beneficiary information right here from this screen if I needed to by clicking on the green plus sign. So I can choose from one of my contacts here, or I can create a new contact. So I'm going to go ahead and add my dependents and my beneficiaries, and then once I've done that, I can go ahead and submit my request. I will review the screen messaging in addition to all of my selections listed above, and then I will be required to enter in my system password to sign off on this request, and then I can go ahead and accept this. I will also be prompted with an option to print out my requested benefit selection if I care to do so. I want to take a moment to mention that there are automated email notifications that can be tied to certain actions such as this: the employee submitting a benefit change request. These notifications can be configured with custom messaging and sent to individuals in the client and/or broker company based on who needs to be aware of these events as they take place. Even as the enrollment period approaches, you can configure notifications as early as 90 days beforehand to begin promoting the plan options that the employees will soon be presented with. So as the date continues to approach, they can have these notifications trigger to spread the word about the new plan options and also provide their contact information to help promote additional discussion with the employees going into this exciting time of the year. On another note, once we have our benefit selections approved and in place, employees also have the ability to complete a passive enrollment within the benefit enrollment by viewing their current selections and selecting to continue current coverage during their next open enrollment period. This would be a controlled setting for each plan. Now here on this screen, I can see my pending change request, and I can also review any of my selections at any time if I needed to. Now back on the dashboard, I can also check out my employee benefit statement. This is year-to-date information that I can look back to previous years given the data that's in the system. And then once my benefit plan request is approved, I can also expect to start seeing any applicable deductions listed here on this statement moving forward. So now that we've seen the employee's perspective around benefit enrollment, let's log out and log in as the broker's perspective to review useful reports and features important to the brokers. Kathy also has a dashboard screen, and she can access reports based on what information she needs to reference. Given that our new hire just submitted their open enrollment request, let's take a look at the benefit change request detail report first. The Benefit Change Request Detail Report will display any employees that have been added benefits within the date range selected in the report, with the detail on before and after the request. It will also display any employees that have stopped benefits within this date range selected within the report. So from this report, we can see the employees and the date filter here up at the top, and then we can go ahead and review the information below. Based on these requests or changes, you can export this information and pass it along to the specific carriers that you're working with once they've been approved. Also keep in mind, since we have payroll enabled, these deductions will automatically flow into payroll, so no manual work is required. Another useful report is our Benefit Open Enrollment Status Report. So this is a great report to review where the employees are within the process. So with columns like not started or in progress or completed or rejected, it will make it extremely easy for you to track this information. We can use the column filters for yes, no, or all for additional reporting flexibility. A broker that references this report can gather information around who still needs to begin their open enrollment and can send out reminder emails to these folks to get them started and move through this process. Also, by referencing this report, the broker can configure a system notification for specific groups of employees if needed based on the end date of the open enrollment period. Having this type of visibility is key. So for existing plans, let's take a look at the benefit plan report. Now I have this grouped by employee again, and then we can see a nice breakdown of the benefit type or the coverage name, and you can also include the deduction effective to and from dates. And then you also have the ability to add additional columns like we can see here, and depending on what you want to show in this report, we have our report functions set where you can select and remove columns. So this is going to show you all of the columns that are currently being displayed within your report, and these are all of the columns that you can report off of. So you can simply go ahead and bring in those columns by clicking on the green arrow and then selecting those columns to be reviewed in your report. Now you can also create multiple views of any report by using our Save feature. So this is going to be great for brokers who are looking to have an updated look at who's enrolled in the various plans, or a set time frame to reference this report to be aware of additions or removals from the benefit plans across the company. And then with any of the reports, there are also export capabilities. And we do also have an email report generator that can be set to trigger at scheduled frequencies. So now let's move on to the census report. With great reporting flexibility, you can create and save multiple census report views that are needed by the broker. So here we have a report grouped by employee that you can see a mixture of demographic, salary, and location information, including effective dates and of course the selected plan types for each plan being offered. Again, with any of the reports, the ability to add or remove columns and saving this report makes it extremely easy to manage multiple views. So now let's go ahead and move on to the ACA. So the last thing that we want to talk about today is the ACA detailed report. And the ACA will help your clients remain compliant with the Affordable Care Act, or ACA, through the first solution designed to provide proactive management of your client's ACA compliance strategy across their entire workforce, and really bringing ACA compliance full circle. So with time and labor management, you can track hours worked to determine full-time or part-time status, while also being able to manage the look-back periods, and upon an employee hitting full-time, in HR, the employee can automatically enroll in benefits, like we went over, and once they choose a plan, compensation data is pulled from payroll to ensure that the plan is determined as affordable. So that concludes the demonstration. To quickly recap, on the employee level through notifications and plan descriptions, you as the broker can promote additional revenue opportunities using plan promotion, and also the ability to control the messaging that is delivered to the client. At the broker level, the ability to have access to reports and data within the system or sent to yourself and others in your group externally is a great way to be kept in the loop with what is happening within your clients' companies.